a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
And welcome to Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates. We are live here from Port Mall in Scarborough, Tobago. This morning, we come with the excitement, we come with the youthful vibe, that vigor, just to take you through the rest of the week. I am your host, Natalia Nantis, and I will be taking you through the morning segments. I know that, you normally see two of us, but one of us is here right now. We hope to see the other as the show goes along. All right, so before we continue on, let's have our news in 90 seconds. Here is your news in 90 seconds for Wednesday, 12th of February 2025. We start with some sad news. Two fishermen from the Pigeon Point area set out to sea at 6 a.m. yesterday aboard the boat Xena, a 28-foot Sagittarius vessel equipped with two 60-horsepower Mercury engines and a winch on the left side. The boat, owned and captained by Junior, have on board an individual known as Baby as the deckhand. The fishing boat used is distinguished by its blue bottom, white top, and green interior. The fishermen were expected to return by 11 a.m. yesterday, but have not been seen since. As of late last night, the Coast Guard have been actively assisting in the search. Additionally, a plea was made via social media for fishermen from all parts of Tobago to join the search for the missing men today. UNC political leader Kamla Persad-Bissessar has announced the formation of a coalition of interest to contest the 2025 general election. Speaking at the party's headquarters in Chaguanas, Persad-Bissessar revealed that the UNC will be joining forces with the LOVE movement, led by Lennox Smith, the Progressive Empowerment Party. Led by Philip Edward Alexander, the Oilfield Workers Trade Union, OWTU, headed by President General Angel Roger, along with other unions. However, she made it clear that the UNC will not collaborate with the National Transformation Alliance, the NTA leader Gary Griffith, in the upcoming elections. The Pan American Health Organization, PAHO, has issued an alert about the rising risk of dengue outbreaks in the Americas, including the Caribbean, due to increased circulation of the DNV3 serotype. PAHO urges countries to strengthen surveillance, diagnosis, and treatment, as DENV3 has been linked to severe cases, especially among children. In 2024, over 13 million dengue cases were reported in the region, with thousands classified as severe. PAHO recommends enhanced vector control, public education, and improved healthcare readiness, while also monitoring the effectiveness of the TK003 dengue vaccine. And that was your news in 90 seconds. So we're on to everyone's favorite part of the morning, I would say. I mean, based on what everybody says, it is indeed their favorite part, and that is our birthdays for this morning. So who do we have up for our birthdays this morning, team? Throwing it over to our team with our birthday for this morning. Happy birthday to Miss Janelle Tobias Hazel. A very much happy birthday to you. God's blessings throughout the rest of your day. And from us here at Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates, a happy birthday goes out to you. Believe it or not, that's all for birthdays this morning. So to those who unfortunately were not able to send in their birthdays this morning, we hope that next year around this time again you're able to, that we at Tobago Updates here can celebrate with you on your day while you send in all of your pictures. Even videos are allowed. So happy birthday to you all who were born on the 12th of February 2025. I think if Dwayne was here, he would have said something about entering into the Pisces season if we have not been there yet. So I think, wherever he is, he's very much elated to celebrate this birthday with you, Janelle, and to those of you who are celebrating today, February 12th. All right, so we have a rundown for this morning. We have some exciting interviews for you, some informative interviews. We have those from the Tobago Special Needs School Committee up first, and we'll hear a little bit about them, and then we'll go into, just give me a second. And then, of course, we'll go into Wick and wine. We heard a little bit about that last year, and they're back again, ready to go again. Tobago Wick will be hosting Wick and wine. And then last but not least, we'll hear about a Valentine's Day dinner fundraising event. You know, it's a season of love. Friday is incoming. I mean, Valentine's is coming, and I don't want to ask you where your significant other is, but get ready for this season, right? So in light of that, we have a few, yesterday we heard from this week we heard from the Magdalena Grand. They will also be having their dinner. Today we hear about another Valentine's Day dinner fundraiser event that we can attend as well in light of the season of love. All right, so that will be all for your rundown for this morning. Before I go to our viewers on our varying platforms, Facebook, YouTube, and 102 on AMPLIA, share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise to do? What to eat? How to get restful sleep? Need a doctor to search for root cause? Look no further. Come to Majuba Hill Lifestyle Center Foundation at our Wellness Center in Goodwood, or Food Hub in Darrow Springs, Scarborough, or Doctor's Office in Goodwood and Darrow Springs. Contact 49 Swift 4979 438. Want to get better? Where to start? What kind of exercise?
Tobago Glass Supplies has been a leading name for over 37 years in the glass and aluminum market in Tobago. We provide an extensive range of high-quality, innovative aluminum and glass products for commercial and residential use. Competitive prices with superior and professional services by committed employees who are guided by rigid quality standards. Tobago Glass Supplies specializes in the manufacture and installation of glass and aluminum products that are essential to today's homeowners and the business environment. We are engaged in marketing, sales, and installation of a variety of products. These ranges from windows and doors to necessities such as mirrors for homes and vehicles, designed and manufactured in-house or imported.
Yo everyone, it's your boy Harry here from Authentic Builders General Hardware, right here in Tobago, located in Stowbay Local Road, you guys. So here's what for all of my Tobago customers, you guys know for the longest while we haven't had a big sale here in Tobago. That's going to change. You know why? Because from this Thursday, right, February, Thursday the 13th until Saturday the 15th, we are going to be having a 3-day blowout sale, mega sale, you guys. Everything here going to sell out real fast. You could just imagine right now you're getting
Soca, zest, and steam. Thursday, 13th February, the night before Valentine's Day. Fellas, come out with me. Ladies, you and your team to experience one of TNT's most requested artists, Young Brother.
She said, take it easy, I will do the work. You don't have to wind up
Young Brother live at Village Vibes Bar, Mason Hall.
I wanna wine on your bumper, I know you like steam.
Young Brother live for an uncut, up-close performance.
You make it jump and you make it jump.
Alongside DJ Hottie, Ish and Selector Father, MC Sticks, King Legal, Busy and DJ Fusion. Early bird tickets, 3 ladies on 1 ticket, $450. Single, $200. Available at Pablo's Supermarket, Argyle, Royal Castle Outlet, Scarborough, Ramaba, Joefield Junction, Mongrace, Crown Point Gas Station, and Village Vibes Bar. Call 750-6258 or 686-0898 for one night only. The King of Steam, Young Brother live, the night before Valentine at Village Vibes Bar, Mason Hall.
This is what I like the pot.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With AMPLIA TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with AMPLIA's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 GB fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With AMPLIA, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. AMPLIA. Do more, live more.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
And viewers, we are back here on Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates. We are ready and here to kickstart our first interview for the morning. This morning, I have two lovely faces, very much prepared to give you that information you would need for this segment. We have with us this morning Miss Marion Kent. She is a member of the Tobago Special Needs School Committee, and she is also a major in psychology. She's very much ready and very much prepared to tell you about our topic for this morning. And next we have the very much smiling Miss Cordella Panting. Good morning to Miss Panting. She's also a member of the Tobago Special Needs School Committee and also the principal for the school.
Tobago School for the Deaf, Speech and Language Impaired.
Thank you, Ms. Pantin. All right, I'd like to welcome you both here this morning. Thank you so much for joining us here on Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates. Right, so our viewers may be wondering, who is Tobago Special Needs Committee and who do you cater to?
Go ahead. Okay, so the Tobago School, the Special School Committee was formed, well, let me just start from where it started.
No problem.
Right, so it was formed as a result of consultation with the Chief Secretary, that was the 4th of February 2022. This committee, the reason for this committee was to attend to the needs of the persons who were not served by the formal schooling. And so therefore, as the name says, Tobago Special Needs School Committee, that is what we are attending to, the needs of persons with special, with the special needs.
Right.
Right? So later on in that year, around July of 2022, this group was formed, and therefore we had to come together because there were objectives, goals that we have to look at, mainly to find out those who were not served. We had to come up with a plan for what we are going to put in place so that those who are using the special needs school, this modern school that we want to put in place, we have to be able to find out what exactly they would need to make the school profitable for all of the students.
All right. Okay. And well, you told me that it started in 2022. So of course, we're in 2025 now, and over the years, you all would have had some focus goals that you all would have, I'm guessing that those goals would have been attained, those aims accomplished. So could you share with us some of those goals that you all may have set out and those that you have accomplished over the years?
Okay. So similar to what Mrs. Pantin just shared, we have been looking and making plans towards accommodating persons with moderate to severe disabilities. So that's the main thing. We have two groups of persons with disabilities, and we have the mild to moderate, and those persons are usually served, or children are usually served within a general education setting. But we look at those who are more severe and would require intensive types of interventions, supports, and even services. And that's the group that we are actually catering for. And the group that is, most times often left unserved. The committee's main objective, we were to determine the needs, as Mrs. Pantin would have indicated, to see how many persons or how many individual students have not been served, or we're not meeting them with respect to the two special schools that we have in Tobago, namely Tobago School for the Deaf, Speech and Language Impaired, and Happy Haven, which is located at Signal Hill. All right, so we were to go get information as to what needs. So we're looking to see the depth. So while we're servicing a few within the schools, we want to know how many more we are not reaching and we are not serving. Another was to engage in stakeholder consultation, and this is the main reason why we're here, to let people know that we are about you. And we want you to share, because most times you find that persons who make decisions regarding persons with special needs, usually they're not persons with special needs on the committee. And we don't want to continue a trend like that. So that's why we're inviting the general public, persons who know persons with disabilities, parents of individuals, or children who have disabilities and really need the services and the supports. They can be a part of that conversation, so they can add to the information where we're talking about that special needs school. When we talk about school, having the committee being met, we recognize that we want to go beyond that. We want to be a little more modern. Rather than just a simple facility where we have education, we have considered doing it a little broader. So we kind of looking at a campus type of setting. One where we have the assessment and therapy centers available. We have the special needs schools, so we'll still cater to the educational and the other types of needs of the individuals, as well as a tech VOC and agricultural center that will cater to the long-standing so persons who are graduating into age. We still want to have a facility available to make them a little more productive, to have them skilled. So at least we'll have them feel a little more empowered and then make them readily available for employability. All right, so that's what we're looking for. And then a concession. So we want them, even if they're not able to be employed in the general public of Tobago, we're looking at maybe the same campus they can be filtered in. So those are some of the things and the ideas and the objective that we have. We have a really great group, the technical team. We have persons coming from policy development, that is in the form of Mr. Bobby Andrews. We have principals, Mrs. Cordella Pantin. We have also myself, school psychologist, and I think I'm forgetting a really important person. We have special needs educators as well, Mrs. Alexander. So we have a really cool team, even civil engineers we have on board with us as well too. And I think the dynamic and the interest and the motivation and just wanting to be a part of ensuring that our persons or individuals, especially our children with special needs, are catered to and really be a part of our community is what we're really driving what we do. And we're hoping that the public really come out and assist us in this initiative, because it's not just about us sitting here and making plans but we want it to be a situation where we have everyone really put the input so that it will be effective, it will be modern, it will be sustainable, and really we could stand out as the beacon of really meeting our needs of persons with moderate to severe disabilities in Tobago.
Right. I mean, she gave us a lot there. She gave us a lot there, but it's something that we really need to consider as public, because, you know, some of us are not aware of who are special needs or what special needs we're looking at, you know, and here's this committee that is geared towards fulfilling those goals and bringing awareness to the public. You can't say yeah, no anymore. Right? Because they are here and they're telling you what is happening. All right. I love how you mentioned that you have a really cool team. From what I'm hearing, the word cool is really fitted there, you know, because it's not just a by the way committee. It's something that was well thought out, something that is aimed to educate, aim to, you know, fulfill those objectives that you would have lined out. Yeah. So in light of that, what is the importance of having such a committee in line with our education system?
All right. So as it stands, we have a number of persons who are on the waiting list, and we need to reach out to those persons because they have rights to education as well. When we speak of the special needs, we are talking about the various forms of disabilities, as some people like to put it, the abilities, because they can do things that they will just do it a little different from the rest of us. But they are able to, within that environment, because of the different instruments or supplemental aids or whatever it is that we are going to use in terms of the methods of teaching. This is what we want to do to meet the needs of the persons. And hence the reason why one of the goals was to find out about the user needs, what it is that we need to put in place in terms of the supplemental aids and also in terms of staffing, the persons who are going to be trained to work with these children. Also, it was very important as the school in terms of education, as Ms. Kent mentioned, having the concession centers and the therapy sections. The design of the school is one that should encapsulate all these different disabilities. So what we have also happening right now is the teachers, well, we are going to have that started in September. It has not quite started, but we do have some persons who are preparing themselves through training. They are doing their own training, you know, in the different areas. For instance, Braille. Some of them are doing sign language. And we are hoping that by September, there will be a certification program that people can access at the University of the Southern Caribbean, right? So we're putting all of these things in place so that when that newly designed school comes into play, we can have persons able and capable of working with the children who have special needs.
Now, Mrs. Panton, you answered a question I was about to ask there because, well, I have a mom who is a teacher. I know a lot of teachers, right? And they do come into contact with those of special needs that come into the classroom, right? Not all of them will opt to go to the education institutes that we have here in Tobago for them, right? Some of them are actually capable of being in the classroom, the normal classroom setting. Well, what we would consider normal classroom setting, right? I was about to ask you if you all are now going to align yourselves with the teachers, you know, to educate them on how to deal with students in these cases. You know, how do we go about teaching a child who is sitting among my populace in class, but I have to deal with this child specifically because the child is of special needs. You know, how I go about it. Thank you so much for answering that question. And it's actually something that was coming personal for me because, I mean, a lot of teachers, they mention having them, but sometimes they would have to do their own research on how to teach and give them the material.
Yes.
So I think that's a very good initiative. I'm blushing, I'm smiling, I'm happy, you know, that is being done. All right. What are some of the resources that special need individuals or those who may be parents or guardians of special needs children can benefit from this committee?
Okay, so we have, like I'm saying, we're having conversations, we're having discussions because I have been in the field of special education for a very long time. I may not look that way, but I have been.
Of course not.
And key, some things that you would have made mention in terms of the human resources, staffing, special needs education teachers. We have a few. So there's a great need for that. And while you talk about the general education setting, we also have this special education setting in terms of the special needs. That's why I kind of clarified there are two groups that we're looking at. But the focus for now will be on those with moderate to severe disabilities because most often they are left unserviced.
Yes.
All right? Related services as well. Speech and language therapists, occupational therapists, school psychologists, behavioral specialist, movement therapist, art therapist. These are the other professionals that we are hoping we will have programs set in place to facilitate that. I know the division through DATAS advanced training would have bursaries and scholarships available for persons within that realm because special education is really on the forefront of this assembly, and we're really hoping that persons will have interest in that area, special needs education and all that goes with it, so that at least when we have the school or the campus ready, we have ready resources. Because like I said, most of what we're doing is finding what the dearth is, and we know for sure a significant piece has to do with the human resource of it. So while we are having the deliberations and working towards the campus and putting things in place, we're not doing it in isolation because we recognize when the campus is there, what happens, because the campus does not teach or train individuals. So we would definitely have to have that in place. We also will have to have conversations, and that's why we're having these consultations, inviting corporates, Tobago, we're inviting the communities of Tobago as well to come out and really share to see how best we can contribute effectively and immensely in most instances to ensure that these individuals really do have that right to live, to achieve, and as well as to be productive citizens of Tobago, Trinidad and Tobago by extension. All right. So those are some of the things, the financial supports that may be available and necessary to parents as well. That's why we are really asking for parents to come out. I know it has been long standing. There's no one here in this room, I think, does not understand the struggles, the challenges of parents specifically, especially for their loved ones, that we recognize that in some instances we may not be there all the time to assist and to help and to support. But we really want parents and the wider community of Scarborough. We're starting in Scarborough. In terms of the consultations at the Scarborough Library, and we're inviting all. corporate, community, youth groups, parents, even persons with special needs. You too can contribute to this conversation, and we're inviting you to come out and really support us, because we do not want to provide a facility or provide services that is void of understanding who you are and meeting your need. So this is just some of the information that we wanted to share as the Tobago Special Needs School Committee, and what we have been doing and what we are setting forward to do, so that we can actually get a building, a facility, service, supports, everything that's needed. And I think, like I said, long-standing. And we're hoping that this will help to relieve some of the frustrations that even individuals, and sometimes we forget the individuals are faced, the challenges, because they want to live, they want to contribute as well, and not just on one day, but all the days of their lives, as long as they have health. Yeah. So that is as much as we wanted to share.
All right. And thank you so much for being with us here this morning. Now we're coming to the end of our interview, and you said that one of your main goals for this year is to bring awareness to the public, right? And you'll be doing that in the space of a public consultation. You said, well, we spoke earlier. I got the 411 before you guys, right? But you said that it will be happening on Wednesday of this week, right? So you can give the public
next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday, February 19th, right? So they're going to give you some information on that, and then a little information on how we can contact the committee if needs be. If we want to be a part of this consultation, etc. Where can we find more information?
Okay, so we are, as we said, you can contact the committee actually through the Division of Education, through the Special Needs Group, any of the principals, also the psychologist, Ms. Kent, who is here. So we can get you that information. If we ask for help from the public, because this is going to be out on the media in different forms. Tomorrow we have a group who will be with Tobago Channel 5, right? And so we ask people to listen in.
Yes.
We are asking for support. We are asking that people come out. If you think you have something to say about special ed, some concerns you have, you want to make sure that whatever concerns you have are addressed. We are asking people to visit, to call in, and to ask questions, or go to the schools and probably chat with the principals. And that information will be filtered onto the right persons within the committee. We are also asking for, especially the parents, as Ms. Kent would have mentioned, they are in close connection with the schools. They know what their concerns are, especially with their children, the sort of services that they want for the students, and they are not getting it. We would like to hear from you. We are doing the best that we can for now, but we are hoping that when we have that modern school, we can even do more, but we need the input of the public. So hence the reason we are asking for persons to come out Wednesday next week, the 19th, at the Scarborough Library from 5 to 8 p.m. and give their contribution. Ask, just tell us what you think we can do to better the situations that we have.
All right. Thank you so much, Mrs. Panton, Mrs. Kent, for being with us here this morning on Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates. We had a lot of information there, viewers. So for those of you just joining us, this is Mrs. Marion Kent and Mrs. Cordella Panton, right? They were here on behalf of the Tobago Special Needs School Committee, here to give us some information on their public consultations, especially that are upcoming. You can tune in to that public consultation at the Scarborough Library from 5 to 8 p.m. on Wednesday, 19th February 2025. All right, looking at these smiling faces, they are ready to give that information to you, to educate you as a public. Of course, special needs, they do a lot for our community. They they are integrated, you know, so they would love your support in doing so, in educating them to come out to you to serve the public, just as we do on our everyday lives. All right, so thank you so much, Mrs. Pantin, Mrs. Kent, once again for joining us here on Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates. Viewers, we end this segment with a lovely photo of the day captured by Miss Rachel Lee Young. Right, this was captured at the CP's Bird Sanctuary in Hope, Tobago, in my beautiful village. Right, this perfect gem was glowing in the late afternoon. I'm just reading off of what the lovely words that this young lady submitted. Right, in front of us we have the ruby topaz. Let's see if I could pronounce this here scientific name for it. The Chrysolampis mosquitus. I think I did a very good job there. Right, so thank you so much, Miss Lee Young, for your photo of the day. We enjoy this beauty on your screens, and viewers, for those of you who are still with us, I encourage you all to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With AMPLIA TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with AMPLIA's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 GB fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With AMPLIA, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. AMPLIA. Do more, live more.
MI4 Security Services Company is the most advanced security service in Tobago. Ask about our cash and transit service. It's safe, risk-free, reliable, and timely. We provide safe banking delivery for all business types and sizes with highly trained staff, 24/7 monitoring, coordinated emergency response, and a well-maintained fleet of armored vehicles. Contact us at 660-7723 or visit our website at www.mi4securitytt.com to sign up today.
from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Have you ever been in love? This Friday we are going to be having a themed event called Wick and Wine. This morning to discuss this auspicious event, we have none other than CEO of Tobago Wick, and that's WYCK, is Miss Giselle Drew. Drew. I didn't want to butcher your name, or perhaps I'm more excited than you for this event. Good morning and welcome.
I feel you are. Good morning, welcome. Good morning to all of Tobago, Trinidad by extension. And how are you this morning?
I am not as fine as you are, but what I am though is very excited to get into this event, get to talk about this event and find out what do you have for those lovebirds on Valentines Day on Friday, right? It's always a pleasure having you. We had an experience last year, one that I would never forget, right? Where we did some very nice things. We'll get into that a bit later. But good morning to you, and for those of our viewers who don't know who you are, please share with us who you are and what you do.
Okay, so my name is Giselle Drew. I am the owner, as you said, CEO, operator at Tobago Wick, and we do all things candles, all things scents, all things nostalgia. That's the way I like to put it. We are responsible for connecting you and releasing your creativity, essentially. I love how you describe the event as auspicious and, for the lovers. And what I will say is lovers doesn't just refer to man and woman. Lovers could be your mother, your father.
Yes,
no,
yes,
it really is a wide array. Lovers could be your best friend. So the event is not limited to...
And it could be yourself as well. Those who love yourself, you can come and pay for an event and treat yourself.
Well, as long as you'll be paying for two, that's fine. Yeah. So, Wick and Wine. Wick and Wine is a collaboration between myself and Fairways. It's the first time we're ever doing it, and we wanted it to be an experience for Tobagonians, Trinbagonians, anybody who would like to partake.
I didn't want to jump into the thing just yet. We just getting started, but again, for the viewers who might not know, how long have you been making candles, and what has the journey been like getting to this point? Because many persons will see a candle all scented and well wrapped and well bottled or packaged, and just buy it off the shelf because they might be candle lovers, but they don't understand what it takes to get to this place, especially during an event like this.
Understood, and so true. So it's been about 5 years journey from start to where we are now. It has had a lot of ups and downs, a lot of successes and a lot of failures. It's not an industry that is renowned in Trinidad and Tobago. So for me, there has been a lot of self-teaching as well as seeking resources outside to learn to be better. Equipment, products and such, those are things that I'm still working on, attempting to source locally, get suppliers to, have these things locally, but it's all a work in progress, and it has been really lovely.
Is this your first event, hosting something like this? And correct me if I'm wrong, is this akin, or does this aim to mirror a sip and paint thing, just with a very, unusual, very creative spin?
No, it's not my first event like this. I actually have events similar to this at Le Chateau, and that is our home location in Mount Pleasant. That's upstairs of Rashad's men's store. However, we typically do more intimate events, and not intimate by numbers, but by whether it's a wedding party, a birthday party, persons you typically book for an event or, an occasion that they are having. What was your second question?
And What is this? Does this aim to mirror the
sip and
concept,
paint.
the sip and paint, but just with a more creative spin on it? You know.
How to really answer
We
that?
can wine, or is it that, you know, it's just your creativity coming on stream and you know, especially for those who are celebrating or want to celebrate Valentine's Day in a very special way.
And I would lean towards the second. I'm not looking to mirror sip and paint. Sip and paint has its own, you know, aesthetic, and it has its own thing going on. I just would like to see more Trinbagonians using their creative juices. A lot of times when I do sessions, I will hear people say, I don't know how to do this. I don't know what I don't know what color to make this. And when you look at the transition towards the end, they are happy. They're like, but I make this. Look how this thing come together. And it actually creates a sense of success and a sense of, you know, just being happy about something you did on your own. And that is the feeling that I would like persons to have.
All right, but why fairways? You know, I love fairways. I think, and just a disclaimer, guys, if you're looking for one of the best tasting steaks in Tobago, fairways is your go-to place. And at reasonable price as well, too.
This is true.
Yeah.
Right. So fairways, because I think we as young people on the island, and I've always said this, we need to network. Tobagonians need to start networking in a way that really creates avenues to bigger and better things. The more we keep in our bubble and, you know, we don't mix and mingle, is the harder it is to get whatever it is we have, whether it's a product or an experience, to really get it out there. And that's mostly everybody's end goal, to get it out there. So we came together. She actually did a session by me. And
she was pleased.
You know, she and her other half, and he came up with this fantastic idea, and it was stars from then to now.
So what kind of music can we expect? Are we going to hear Luther Vandross? Are we going to hear Eric Bennett? Are we going to hear some Boyz II Men, or a little bit of Chris Brown, the more contemporary modern music?
I cannot give you all that information. You need to book a spot. There are a few spots remaining, and you need to come. You need to have the experience. Be calm, enjoy, allow your creativity to be released.
That's but while we are talking about packages and spots as being sold left, right, and center, what is the cost attached to this event? What are we going to get? Free food, complimentary drink? Well, obviously you're paying for wine. You're not whining, guys. We are drinking wine.
So you just talked about the steak. Now you're asking me about free steak. You're encouraging people to go and spend money on.
I didn't ask about steak. Are we going to get complimentary food and drinks, or just
okay? So the event, it's $600 for two persons. As I said, it doesn't have to be a couple. Once it's two persons, it's $600. We try to keep it moderately priced. You are going to get fruit cups, charcuterie cups, and complimentary wine, and the option to dine is also there. That is not included in the package, however. Fairways has an option to do lunch, Valentine's dinner. However, our event is separate.
Right. What time is your event? Is it more in the evening? Is it running all day?
No.
What is it?
So the event is in the night. It's from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. 7 p.m. as in be seated by 7 p.m. We'll be beginning at 7 p.m.
Yes. So
to 10 p.m.
Not Tobago time, guys. We are on time for 2025, right? You know, but this is really creative. You know, any advice you want to give to those lovers who are in love and who want to be loved, you know, just to woo them into this event, just give them a nice quick sales pitch.
What I would say to those who are in love or who want to be in love or who have loved ones, give them the gift of an experience. Sometimes we tend to like to purchase products, and there's nothing wrong with that, but an experience is something that it doesn't go away. You get to take pictures, it remains in your mind, and eventually it becomes a memory, and that's something that no one can take from you. And that is why, as I said to you, we like to connect and create and leave a memorable experience.
All right. All right, so Ms. Giselle, I want to thank you for being here with us this morning. Is there anything else that you would like to share with us? Just share with us quickly your number, your contact information. Where can we, pay down on this event? The lovers might want to rush, so
as they should.
Yes.
As they should. So you can contact 660, that's 4411. Or you can contact 290-1122-1122, and you can make your bookings through either one of those mediums.
All right, so guys, can you put up on the screen again the flyer for the event? And guys, you cannot miss this. Unfortunately, this brings us to the end of this event. I want to thank Miss Drew for being with us this morning and sharing with this lovely event. Guys, up next we have the back in the day photo for you this morning. I think this is a guessing game, so don't rush or rush. Where is this? I wonder where this is. This looks like the old bus terminus. I don't know. Or the airport. All right, so guys, while you ponder on the answer, we want to take a quick break, and we have more for you up next. We just remember to share the live, share the live, share the live. We'll be right back.
Yo everyone, it's your boy Harry here from Authentic Village General Hardware, right here in Tobago, located in Tobago local road, you guys. So here's what for all of my Tobago customers, you guys know for the longest while we haven't had a big sale here in Tobago. That's going to change. You know why? Because from this Thursday, right, February, Thursday the 13th until Saturday the 15th, we are going to be having a 3-day blowout sale, mega sale, you guys. Everything here going to sell out real fast. You can just imagine right now you're getting
Love, soca, zest, and steam. Thursday, 13th February, the night before Valentine's Day. Fellas, come out with me. Ladies, you and your team to experience one of TNT's most requested artists, Young Brother.
She said, take it easy, I will do the work. You don't have to wind up
Young Brother live at Village Vibes Bar, Mason Hall.
I wanna wine on your bumper, I know you like steam.
Young Brother live for an uncut, up-close performance.
You make it jump and you make it jump.
Alongside DJ Hottie, Ish and Selector Father, MC Sticks, King Legal, Busy and DJ Fusion. Early bird tickets, 3 ladies on 1 ticket, $450. Single, $200. Available at Pablo Supermarket, Argyle, Royal Castle Outlet, Scarborough, Ramabar, Joefield Junction, Mongrace, Crown Point Gas Station, and Village Vibes Bar. Call 750-6258 or 686-0898 for one night only. The King of Steam, Young Brother live, the night before Valentines at Village Vibes Bar, Mason Hall.
This is what I like the pot.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes for breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti served with chokers, bull joil and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Put a smile on your face when you're moving from place to place. Good morning, good morning, morning, good morning, morning.
Good morning and welcome back to Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates Morning Show. You're bringing us live here in Portmore, Scarborough, Tobago. I'm Duenos, one of your favorite youth hosts, and we are continuing the discussion this morning surrounding Valentine's Day and Valentine's Day weekend. We have a lot of events coming up, and we're going to be speaking with representatives from the PNM Tobago Council, Mr. Larry Paul and Miss Henry. Good morning and welcome to you guys.
Good morning, good morning.
Right, it's a pleasure to have you guys. You guys are dressed in red for two reasons. You're representing the party, of course, and I also hope that you're also representing the Weekend of Love.
Red is the color of love.
Yes,
Red is the color of love.
So, welcome to you guys. Just tell us about yourselves and your positions and why you guys are here.
Okay, so I'm going to go first. My name is Nicole Henry Waldron. I'm the Lady Vice Chair of the Tobago Executive Council of the People's National Movement. And we are here to discuss our event, which is coming up on Saturday, the 15th of February at the Magdalena Grand Resort Beach and Spa.
All right. Oh, ooh. Wow, what a flyer, man. All right. So we have Valentine's Day dinner. What inspired this event, and how does this event would benefit the people of Tobago, if I can ask that question?
But of course, I'm Larry Paul, the chairman of the PNM Tobago Council, and we're doing an annual fundraiser. But this year, the Lady Vice Chairman says, let's do something about love.
Yeah.
So we pegged it to the Valentine's weekend because we wanted to show some love and going to where we can have the people of Tobago come out to a function, great ambience, and have an evening of love. So that we chose the Magdalena Grand, and is the Saturday after Valentine's. So give you a chance to take that loved one, that special someone out for a wonderful evening where you'll be greeted with a rose and a glass of wine.
All right.
And after entertainment, we set the mood with DJ White Night for an evening of love.
DJ White Night, but you are the MC? Right. So can you walk us through the planning of this event? My follow-up question would be, what is the purpose of the fundraising? If you guys want to share that, just for you guys.
Well, yes, we know as a political party, as any party, we have bills to pay.
Right.
And part of our whole plan is really fundraising.
Right.
So we can pay our bills and, of course, pay our way through as well.
Right.
So it's important to have fundraising because, of course, there's some persons that we owe. So we're trying to see if we can pay as well. But also but we didn't really focus too much on that this year. We're doing it in such a way where you have a good experience.
Right.
So while we're raising the funds, we are focusing on love.
Right.
To have that experience while we do our thing as well.
All right. So, go ahead.
The economical stability of the party is important so that we can feed ourselves and grow ourselves financially. It is also important that we collaborate and we facilitate that event that will bring our members together and other persons so that they will have an opportunity to come into our party.
All right. So guys, what is the cost of this event? Price is everything, right? And while you guys are having it the day after the day itself, are you guys worried that people don't spend their money on all the roses, whether it be real or fake or imported or backyard grown? What?
Hence the reason we put it out early, so that persons would be able to plan and budget for that event. So the event is going to cost $500 per individual, but we have a special today. So the chairman will tell you about that special that will be happening.
Yes, because of that, what you just said, we said, listen, see today, midday, a lunchtime special between 12 to 1, half price.
Half price?
12 to 1. So you got to get your time. You call the office, the Ballet House, the office at Scarborough, 639-3329.
All right. Just repeat it again for those who
639 to the 29,
Right.
and of course 782-9309.
All right.
It's limited, but that 1 hour long time special because we're saying as well, we want everybody to be there, to enjoy that experience that we're putting forward.
All right. So what can participants expect? And besides the greeting with rose and a glass of wine or champagne, did I hear?
Live entertainment.
Live entertainment.
From some of Tobago's best.
All right. So is it that we're going to get finger food? Are we going to get hot pot? What?
You're going to have a three course meal.
Okay. All right.
I mean, we're looking.
Is that breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
No.
I'm just kidding. So you're going to get appetizer, you're going to get main course and dessert.
Correct.
All right.
And to go with that, we have some special prizes as well. We said the event is formal, so that we're having the best dressed couple as well. Special prize. We have many door prizes that you can get.
And my other question is, are you guys going to have a color scheme? I mean, it's love. I mean,
red is the color of love.
Red is the color of love. All right.
So we'll be staying there for now.
All right.
Because we represent the party, and of course, you wear whatever color you want.
Right.
But most importantly, we have entertainment as well.
Are you going to sing?
Well, I can't sing, but I invite those who can sing. So we have Gavin Walters.
Okay.
He's going to entertain us.
All right.
We have Len Phillips giving us a good half an hour of sweet music.
Right.
And then the smooth operator, Ricardo Seals,
All right.
will come serenade.
All the music. You know a car beat a saxophone.
Car
beat a saxophone. And for those of you who don't like saxophone, perhaps for you it might be an acquired taste, right? But I encourage you to be a part of this event. Anything else before we wrap up? Anything more important that you want to tell the viewers? Just remind them about the lunch special and the half price off, where they can pay if they're late. Can they walk in and with their money in their hands? Just share.
So it is this Saturday, 7 p.m. at the Magdalena Grand Hotel. The contribution is $500, but today between 12 and 1, don't miss that deal.
Right.
Half price.
Is it $500 per person or
$500 per person?
Per person.
All right.
Yes.
All right.
And you're going to have a wonderful time, an experience that you never had before. So think of that special loved one. This is the time for expression of love. And of course, being treated with good company. And the ambience at Magdalena is unbeatable.
All right. So my final question, is the Prime Minister going to be there? Are some of the PNM syndicates in Trinidad coming up to be a part of these events? Just a mix and mingle. Or you only leave that as a surprise?
There'll be a surprise. We expect that. We have some special guests here, of course.
Okay.
The leadership would be there, our party in Tobago,
right.
And we expect our membership as well to
come out and support.
Are you setting this up for Mr. Kelvin Morris to just win the best dress prize? Or he's omitted from the competition?
Everyone has an opportunity.
No,
democracy exists in our party, so we expect that everyone will be coming looking dashing.
And of course, if you want to take that special someone out, there'll be a spot for you as well.
Well, of course, you can't go them places there alone. You're looking for trouble, or you might be looking, right? But thank you guys for being here. Thank you guys for sharing in this event, guys. Remember, this event on this is the 15th of February. At 7 p.m. at the Magdalena Grand. Please attend. Get your tickets early. Pay down, and I'm sure if you feel so inspired and you're doing nothing on this Saturday evening, you can walk with your $1,000 in your hand, right, and enjoy the event. Thank you guys for being here.
And the lunchtime special today.
Yes, and don't forget the lunchtime special. I'm going to ask the producer to please put up the flyer on the screen as we close. Thank you guys for being here, and remember to share the live. We have though the answer for the photo segment this morning. And please put up the photo, please. Right, so The answer to the question is, this is exactly where the Victor E. Bruce building is right now. This is the old post office. As I am told, I thought it was the old bus terminus. Yes. Yeah. So this is Market Square, guys. In the olden days, you see the Suzuki, Jimny, still a old,
still looking good.
Still looking good, man. Yeah. So guys, this brings us to the end of the Youth Wednesdays on Tobago Updates morning show. Going over to GMT with Miss Chanel Felix. Just remember to share the live. Have a blessed and safe day.
Today we had our area representative, Mr. Sonny Craig, reading to our students, the infant department in particular. And we were elated to have him. The children were really excited to have someone from outside coming inside to read to them. So they paid attention, they listened attentively, and the rest is just history for them.
We are at the St. Patrick Anglican School, nestled on the hilltop right at the St. Patrick Anglican Church in Mount Pleasant. And I was invited here to read for the children and to see if I could spark that interest in them. We read today about a young man named Max and his grandmother and the experiences they had in the greenhouse in the garden. And I plan to come back to do another part to the reading where Max and his grandmother goes to join the youth club and to interact with other young people. Positive stuff, simple stuff. I learned something today I never knew before, that a squirrel's front teeth never stops growing. That's why they're always gnawing on something, always chewing on something. How did I get that? I read it. So the knowledge is power. And from books, there's a lot of knowledge we could acquire.
This is bedtime storytelling. Yes, it's still lit outside, but we have children in their pajamas, and they have the blankets, and we're having games. And it is to celebrate.
So I'm happy that they did something for Read Aloud Day. I usually look forward to the annual pajamas Read Aloud. And the setting is lovely, and the local author and encouraging Miss Spencer to come and read aloud and talk about why reading is important is great. So I'm glad that they embraced it and they actually facilitated it.
My name is Felicia Spencer, and I am a teacher of 25 years. I'm the author of Finding My Baby Doll. The book was all about a young lady who is entering Standard 1, and she was very nervous about doing that, finding new friends, and how she got to overcome those difficulties in that Standard 1 first day. My book is available online on Amazon, and you can pre-order from me. The number is 737-3284.
Tobago Library Services is all about bringing learning and fun and interaction and events to our local public. So we invite you to come to the library. We are open Monday to Friday, 8:30 to 6 p.m. and on Saturdays, 8:30 to 2 p.m. So we can't wait to see you at our libraries.
That was a production of the Department of Information, Office of the Chief Secretary, Tobago House of Assembly.
We will recall that
Operation Gulfstreams began on that fateful morning, just mere days before our National Carnival on the 7th of February 2024. The impacted area was something like 15 kilometers of space, starting from Scarborough, going way down to Pettigrew, just behind my back. And it resulted in the removal of waste to the extent close to 60,000 barrels of oiled waste and over 23,000 cubic yards of waste materials that were moved, which was stored at Stolly Park. It is 6 o'clock in the morning. The fisher folks are ready to go out to sea to check on booms, to make sure that the booms are intact. These booms were utilized. So you have that process taking place. You have diving taking place, looking at what is happening below the sea and the challenges. So this is divided up into two major operations. What is happening on shore.
It's a brand new morning, rise up to a brand new dawning. As the passion start to rise, the energy fill the skies. I say thanks for favor to wake up and hear my neighbor. 60,000 people strong, and the vibes is never wrong. We are beauty, we are power, we are people in the sun. We are beaches, we are rivers, we are melanated ones. We special and there is no denying. Tobago is number one. I am you and you are me. Together we stronger. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Tobago. Good morning, Tobago.
Good morning, and welcome to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. I am your host, Chanel Felix. I know whenever you see me sitting here, it's because we're about to have those conversations that you want to have while I ask the questions that you want asked. But before we get into this morning's interesting conversation, I want to invite you to share the live, as we have an extremely interesting discussion. Now, yesterday, we saw somewhat of a performance happening here on Tobago Updates. A lot of lively action on our morning show from ADFA, as well as the leader of the Progressive Democratic Patriots, Mr. Watson Duke, talking about the oil spill, but in a very animated way. But we want to get down to the seriousness of this matter. The truth is, this oil spill has had an extremely detrimental impact in some cases for some fisher folk and their livelihood. Some persons are claiming through their press conference that they are no longer able to ply their trade because of the damage that was done to their vessel. Now, this morning we have invited the Secretary for Finance, Trade and the Economy, Councillor Petal Ann Roberts, as well as Mr. Linford Beckles, who is the chairman of the Multidisciplinary Oil Spill Oversight Committee, to offer some clarity, some comfort, and giving us a better perspective from the angle of the THA on all that is happening and how can real assistance be given to the Tobago fisher folk. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, Chanel, and good morning to Tobago. Thank you for having us.
So, Councillor Roberts, as I indicated before, during that press conference that was held by ADFA just 2 days ago, now as animated as it may have seemed, a lot of persons made a joke of it. We saw a lot of memes going around on social media and, people making light of the way that they expressed their concerns, wondering if they were truly serious. But there is seriousness when we look at the
economic impact on the livelihood of a number of the fisher folk due to that oil spill that happened in Tobago. Now we have ADFA's President Curtis Douglas coming out and saying that the THA paid who they wanted to pay. They paid the Trinidad contractors and left the Tobagonians out in the cold. How do you respond to how that allocation, how that $50 million was allocated to equally spread to over all the contractors that participated in that oil spill cleanup?
Well, firstly, I'd like to say that this is a very serious matter for the government. We treated this matter seriously from day one on February 7th, and we continued. The government has set up, as you did indicate, a multidisciplinary committee, of which I was a part at the time. And I can say that we took steps, even though we did not have the resources from the parliamentary appropriation. We used every single cent in the contingency account. And I said this over and over again, and I hope that today, whatever I say today, without any emotions and performance, that persons will understand the seriousness of this matter. And this government has taken this matter seriously from day one. So as I did indicate, we did utilize the $15 million. And we didn't just pay $15 million. We said, you know what, the emergency phase of the oil spill, we're going to pay 6 of the contractors that did the majority of the cleanup works, of which ATFA was a part. Mm-hmm. So we took all of them seriously. We brought all of them in the room and we met with them one by one, not all together, but in segments. Mm-hmm. I think everybody probably had an hour with us. So we met the names that he called Tiger Tanks, Kaizen, Oil Map, ADFA, Tobago Marine. We met all the contractors that dealt with the cleanup efforts. And they all agreed with the decision at the end of the meetings. And the decision was, we are only going to pay some of your invoices. The government did not send any resources to take care of the oil spill at the time. And that meeting took place on April 30th. The oil spill took place in February. At the same time, we were paying invoices by shifting resources internally, meaning there's a line item for any extraordinary instances like an oil spill or any disaster, of which we were only allocated $2 million. We had spent about $700,000 at the time. So we started to pay some of the invoices from that. But the larger service providers, they were paid from contingency. We did contracts with them and they all agreed with the amounts. I think it was by May, these 6 contractors were paid. And basically they were paid for the month of February and in some cases, the beginning of March. And the reason why these contractors were paid in the millions, I'm sure you heard 18 million, 50 million, because they did works for that quantum of work. And then the 50 million came in June. Now, let me give you the story behind how the government came up with 50 million. At the mid-year, we requested 153 million for the oil spill. It included actual invoices on hand and the provision, because we couldn't tell when this thing would end. So the provision took us till September of 2024, and the provision took us to 153. When we did that and we submitted it, the government said, let me see your actual invoices for February and March. We submitted that. That came up to somewhere around 47 million. And that is where the $50 million came from. The government ideally is saying to us, unfortunately, we can only give you $50 million, which takes care of February and March. So the onus was now on us as a government to find money to pay April, May, and June. And as I would indicate, unfortunately, we still have about 15 suppliers to be paid of about $4.89 million, right? So I want to get to what was said yesterday in terms of compensation. In the provision that we made for compensation, we cannot tell what compensation is. We could have predicted or projected the cost of cleanup because we had bills for cleaning up. So it was easy to project that. And what we would have done, we reduced it as time went by. So for instance, we provided meals and accommodation. We took that out all entirely in the month of April. There were other costs that we didn't think that we would have needed, like cost of security, cost of toilets. We also demobilized is it the JOC you call it?
JOC.
The JOC, which was a temporary temporary command center. So we eliminated all of those costs. So the cost reduced over time in the provision. But in terms of compensation, we couldn't do an accurate provision for that. So I think that was underestimated. When the compensation was submitted by the fishermen, it came up to $47 million. So I'm hearing yesterday, pay these fishermen what is due to them. There's absolutely no way we can pay $47 million. But you know what? There's another committee that was set up to deal with the issues of the fishermen under the Division of Food Security. So we have the multidisciplinary committees that was set up by the Office of the Chief Secretary. And then we had another committee set up by the Food Security to look at compensation and all the issues relating to fishermen. That committee did extensive work in terms of evaluating the submissions from the fishermen. And at the end of that exercise, with the aid and assistance and guidance of people from the International Oil Spill Pollution Compensation, because they are accustomed doing this worldwide when oil spill occurred, they also were part of the evaluation and assessment process of the claims made by fishermen. And at the end, that came up to $4.2 million.
And these were what was deemed to be viable claims?
Yes, reasonable, based on the fact that, and I think Mr. Beckers will elaborate on that. I think that more had to do with persons in the Scarborough and Lambo area, those persons that were affected. Because the government only sent $50 million and we had all of these invoices, in the end we have paid so far $72 million. So the additional resources had to come from within. We could not pay the $4.2 million immediately. And as a matter of fact, the process is that you lean on the international IOPC, the international agent IOPC, because they provide compensation for situations like oil spills. But you know what this government had said? Because that process may take so long, we will provide you with financial assistance, not compensation, financial assistance, because we know what you were affected by. So it's the persons who are approved to get the $4.2 million. We said we can only afford, based on the resources that we currently have, $2 million. And Ms. Felix, that is in process. The commitment was made in January when we did the press conference, but there is a process. The process of evaluating now, remember, persons would have sent in compensation claims. So you use that to determine how much they pay. We are now paying $2 million. What's the metric we're going to use? And we are trying to work out now a fair and reasonable determination of dispersing that $2 million to the fishermen. We are at the point where it's at the Division of Finance, between the Division of Finance and the division, where we're going to disperse funds very soon.
And Mr. Beckles, can you tell us some of the criteria that were used to remove some of the excess applications for things that may not have been reasonable?
All right. Good morning. First, let me just clarify my role in the entire oil spill response. So I was asked to be the chairman of the Multidisciplinary Oil Spill Management Committee. And that committee was essentially tasked with providing general oversight of the entire process and so on, to ensure efficiency in terms of the operations, and to make recommendations for payment of the services that were offered by the various contractors. And that was done, right? We had expertise of all kinds available to the committee, but where we felt that we needed additional support in terms of expertise, we sought that from outside the committee. Before I answer your question directly, I just want to make the point that the ATFA, right, the All Tobago Fisherfolk Association, they were of course one of the contractors that provided really important service to us throughout the process. And it is already established that that organization is owed monies by the Tobago House of Assembly for services provided, and the Tobago House of Assembly has paid a part of it and remains committed to paying the outstanding sum. With respect to compensation, Ms. Felix, I was not part of the committee that was set up to deal with the matter of compensation, right? That committee is a committee that is established under the Division of Food Security, and that is chaired by Mr. Alan Stewart, who you all know quite well because he's normally a frequent visitor and so on this particular program. So I cannot speak authoritatively on all of the metrics and so on. But what I can say is that the committee that was set up to look at this and so on, they would have used international best practice in informing the decisions that they made, and a lot of these decisions and the way that they arrived at the decisions, it was explained in the press conference that was held in January of this year, explained by Mr. Stewart and by Mr. Derek Leet and so on, an economist and so on at the Division of Finance, who was integrally involved in the process. The process, as explained then, seemed quite reasonable to me. I mean, I also have qualifications in economics and stuff, and they seem quite reasonable to me in terms of the econometric modeling and stuff that was actually used. But in terms of all of the criteria and so on, it's not something that I can speak authoritatively on.
Understood. And when we look at the demographic of fisherfolk who submitted claims, geographically, we had some persons from the Scarborough area, some persons basically from Tobago West and Tobago East. So is it that you completely eliminated the fisherfolk who came from North Side and the East who tried to make claims for compensation?
Well, again, I can't speak authoritatively on it, but I was at the last press conference, and I do have interactions with Mr. Stewart and Mr. Leith and so on, who are integrally involved in the process. And on the basis of my interaction with them and so on, the process did not exclude people who were from outside of the geographical area defined as Lambo. Right? There were other people from other areas and so on who they felt, whose claims they felt could actually be justified. With respect to how many of those persons are actually included and so on, or recommended for compensation, I cannot say. But I do know that there are persons from outside of the Lambo areas whose claim the committee considered to be justifiable.
And Councillor Roberts, when we look at it overall, we don't want persons to confuse the compensation for fisherfolk with the contractors. So can you make that key distinction for the public so that they understand who were paid already and the finances surrounding that, as opposed to the compensation that the fisherfolk are now protesting for?
Right. So the oil spill expenditure is, I would say, divided into two categories. So we have service providers, persons who would have worked for the oil spill in the cleanup efforts, who have provided meals, transportation, materials, and for that we have already paid $72 million. Yesterday you did hear that we did pay $1,000 in the early parts. That was somewhere in February, because at the time we didn't have the resources. We didn't know it, the quantum. There was no metric as to what the compensation should be. So the government said, all right, let us pay, because at the time fishermen in certain areas of Tobago could not fish within their jurisdiction, the areas that they are accustomed plying their fishing trade. So we did give $1,000 to, I think, about 100 fishermen of persons affected. Then we had the services provided. And that, as I said, we first utilize funding from contingency. The government sent 50 million, and then we shifted resources internally, and that's how we came up with the 72 million. The 2 million that we're going to use now, we're going to shift resources again, and that is, I don't even want to call that compensation. As I did indicate, we are not paying compensation because the compensation claims came up to $47 million, and that was about 167 claims. So 167 persons in Tobago submitted and said, this is how I was affected. But there was an evaluation process, and it came down to about 20-something fishermen and persons affected. I don't think it was only fishermen, but persons who ply their trade in the areas and were affected, and that came up to about 4.2 million. However, as I did indicate, because the usually compensation of this nature, where oil spills occur across the world, the IOPC is the agency that you lean on for compensation. So the THA decided we will pay you financial assistance because of the losses that you would have incurred. And it's the same persons who were at the end of the evaluation process. Those 20-something persons, those are the ones that would be paid out of the 2 million.
Totally understood. Now, guys, we're going to take a quick break right here, and we'll be back as we continue this discussion this morning. See you soon.
So guys, there are some new developments in housing in Tobago. So it's goat racing time. This is 116, the show that keeps you in the know with all things Tobago House of Assembly. Each week, 116 delivers a fun and engaging overview of the latest developments, achievements, activities, and events of our dynamic assembly. So join me. Let's dive into the Tobago House of Assembly's Week in Review right here on 116.
Love, soca, zest, and steam. Thursday, 13 February, the night before Valentine's Day. Fellas, come out with me. Ladies, you and your team to experience one of TNT's most requested artists, Young Brother.
She said, take it easy, I will do the work. You don't have to wind up
Young Brother live at Village Vibes Bar, Mason Hall.
I wanna wine on your bumper, I know you like steam.
Young Brother live for an uncut, up-close performance.
You make it jump and you make it jump.
Alongside DJ Hottie, Ish and Selector Father, MC Sticks, King Legal, Busy and DJ Fusion. Early bird tickets, 3 ladies on 1 ticket, $450. Single, $200. Available at Pablo Supermarket, Argyle, Royal Castle Outlet, Scarborough, Ramabar, Joefield Junction, Mongrace, Crown Point Gas Station, and Village Vibes Bar. Call 750-6258 or 686-0898 for one night only. The King of Steam, Young Brother live, the night before Valentines at Village Vibes Bar, Mason Hall.
This is what I like the pot. Don't run.
Yo everyone, it's your boy Harry here from Authentic Builders General Hardware, right here in Tobago, located in Tobago local road, you guys. So here's what for all of my Tobago customers, you guys know for the longest while we haven't had a big sale here in Tobago. That's going to change. You know why? Because from this Thursday, right, February, Thursday the 13th until Saturday the 15th, we are going to be having a 3-day blowout sale, mega sale, you guys. Everything here going to sell out real fast. You could just imagine right now you're getting
morning and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates this morning. We have been chatting with Councillor Petalyn Roberts as well as Mr. Linford Beckles, who was the chairman of the Multidisciplinary Oil Spill Oversight Committee. They are offering clarity and I'm guessing some comfort to the fisher folk in Tobago as Councillor Roberts has indicated that the THA would be paying assistance to the fisher folk, not the compensation that they have filed to the IOPC. Now, explain that to us, because persons are or may think that you are using this 2 million that you have to pay those claims, but you are saying this is not the claim. The claim would still be fulfilled by the IOPC. If the IOPC does their part. So can you explain the difference in those?
So the IOPC is a separate entity from the THA, and I don't know the parameters, I don't know the criteria. However, I know Mr. Alan Stewart was charged with the responsibility for assisting the fishermen and the fisher folk and all the stakeholders in the fishing industry who wants to apply for compensation to the IOPC, that he would provide that kind of technical assistance. So I cannot say how the IOPC does their assessment of claims. I know that you have to put in your application for your claim and they will do the rest. And because we don't know how long that will take, we don't even know if they will meet the criteria. We are saying we're going to pay you despite all of that, but we cannot pay you a compensation or what you deem to be compensation. I think the metric would be, I'm not sure, because this would be expedited by the Division of Food Security. The idea is if the claims came up to 4.2 million and, well, after we did our assessment, and we are going to pay 2 million, most likely you're going to get half of what the recommended sum was at the end of the assessment period, if you understand what I mean. So most likely, for instance, I'm seeing a fisherman here whose recommended amount is 468,000. He may get half of that in the 2 million as part of what we deem to be financial assistance, because as a government, we feel that we have a responsibility to help you because of this unforeseen catastrophe.
So you are saying that the THA has put aside the funds to help the fisher folk. The assistance is going to come through this assistance, but they have to wait.
So the waiting is really two things. One, as Secretary of Finance, I can tell you I do not receive funding in accordance with the law. I've said that time and time again. The law says in the THA Act that we should receive our releases from Trinidad quarterly, so every quarter or block in advance. So at the beginning of the quarter, I should receive all the monies for the 3 months. And that does not happen, right? Because the government has indicated that they don't have the resources to do that. And because of that, I cannot honor things as they come. It has to wait until I receive resources from the central government. This 2 million, though, was not set aside. However, we have decided to shelve some of our initiatives that we want to do and put the resources towards the financial assistance, and that would be paid under the Division of Food Security. As a matter of fact, at first we were looking at the contingency account, but we used the contingency's money to pay ADFA $1.9 million within the last 3 weeks. So the monies that we had set aside for compensation or anything like that, not payment of services, that monies we use it to pay ADFA because we had some outstanding sums for him. He got paid the association, not him. The association was paid $1.1 million. The early past where we paid 6 contractors, and then they were paid about $1.99 million 3 weeks ago. That makes it about $3 million, and the total sum owed was about $6 million. There is a process, though, of due diligence with all of our contractors, and Mr. Beckles can tell you, we sat and negotiated with each and every one of them to the point where some of them gave us discounts. So in some cases, they provided their invoices and we sat with them and said, look, these seem exorbitant or not reasonable, right? And we would have negotiated with some of the service contractors. And we have done that with ATFA as well. We brought their invoices, we looked at the rates, and they agreed in some cases to reduce in some cases. So the same process will apply with the balance owed to ATFA.
Understood. And to you, Mr. Beckles, how important has it been for the Multidisciplinary Oil Spill Oversight Committee to have continuous communication with the fisherfolk? Because from what I am seeing, the protest or the press conference that took place just 2 days ago, these types of demonstrations can be avoided by having that consistent communication. What are the lines of communication between the committee and not necessarily ADFA, but the fisher folk, to ensure that they are understanding what is happening, the process and the time that they have to wait, but that the assistance is coming?
Well, we have, throughout the process, we have had communication with all of the contractors. As Secretary Roberts would have explained a bit earlier, the Tobago House of Assembly was not in a position to pay the invoices at the time that many of the contractors expected the invoices to be paid. And therefore, that required, communication with them and so on to let them know exactly what our position was. And thankfully, many of them demonstrated the kind of patience and so on that we were really looking for, including ATFA. Let me just put that on the record. Further, as she would have indicated, we had continuous conversations in terms of the assessment of the claims and so on, and engaging in a process of negotiation and so on, so that the Tobago House would be in a better position in terms of getting greater value for the money that was actually spent. What I'd like to say is something that is relatively personal. Now, I know Mr. Douglas quite well. I have known Mr. Douglas since probably 1995, thereabout. All right. So a very, very long time and so on. Right. Mr. Douglas and I used to play football together on opposing teams, of course, and so on. Right. And we still maintain a very good relationship. Right. So as the chairman of the committee and on a personal level, I am always in contact. I'm always in contact with Mr. Douglas and so on, right? We have short conversations. Some of the conversations are also very, very lengthy. The conversations are also very open and very frank and so on, right? But nonetheless, we maintain a very good relationship. I maintain a very good relationship with Mr. Douglas and with ATFA. However, notwithstanding conversations that are had, I think that sometimes you can understand if people are owed monies and so on, and it's a little lengthy. Sometimes people may become a little impatient and so on, and that is okay and stuff, right? That is a part of the process. That is quite fine, all right? But I also understand Mr. Douglas's position as the head representative of an organization. I mean, Mr. Douglas is not any different from a trade union leader, and so on, right? I think that's the best way to understand his role and to understand the kind of advocacy and so on that he actually brings forward and so on, and that is fine. He has a duty to represent the interests of his members and so on, and we have a responsibility to listen, and we have a responsibility to respond as the resources allow us to.
Understood. Well, we are going to take a quick break right here, and we'll be back right after this. So see you soon. When we come back?
Yeah, when you come back, I just.
Coconut's Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, bull joil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meats served in a variety of flavors, garden salads and pasta salads. snacks. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
When the game is on, you don't want to miss the best moments. With AMPLIA TV, you can enjoy our ultimate sports package and watch your favorite games on the go. Stay connected and informed with sports news, scores, and stats with AMPLIA's fastest internet speeds. Up to 1 GB fiber internet, you can stream riveting football action, cricket, NBA games, and much more. With AMPLIA, it's game on. Visit amplia.co.tt or call 800-4663. AMPLIA. Do more, live more.
Good morning, good morning, put a smile on your
Good morning, and welcome back to Good Morning Tobago right here on Tobago Updates. We have been chatting with Councillor Petalon Roberts as well as Mr. Linford Beckles. Now, before we left off to the break, Mr. Beckles was indicating that there is a good line of communication with ADFA, and you also indicated that there has been good communication between the division and the fisherfolk through the Oil Spill Oversight Committee and through TEMA, because TEMA is now providing the type of assistance that is needed for the fisherfolk to apply for that compensation from the IOPC. Now, I remember having a conversation here on Tobago Updates where I would have made an error in suggesting that the representative for Tobago East was providing that type of support at her office in CAS. And they made it a point to ensure that I let Tobagonians know that they were not providing any assistance at all, and that fell squarely in the laps of the THA. How important is it for the fisherfolk to understand that the assistance needed is there for them to come to the THA and get that type of help?
But before I respond to what you just asked me to respond to, I just want to elaborate on a point of the relationship that the THA has with the stakeholders. From day one, as I did indicate, we met with stakeholders one-on-one, of which ADFA was a part of that communication, those meetings, and it has always been cordial. I don't know Mr. Douglas personally. I know him as the president of the Fisherfolk, and I met him when we were doing the exercise of explaining to them, this is the resources that we have available, this is what we intend to pay. And at that meeting, we took out the invoices, we went through them, and we said, all right, can we reduce? We negotiated some of the prices, and it was good. You know, he and I did communicate at the time when the contract had to be signed, because at that time I was not Secretary of Finance. I was the accountant on the the finance person on the multidisciplinary committee. And from that time onwards, behind closed doors, it has never been antagonistic or to the point of disrespect, disregard, and bringing anybody into disrepute. So it is quite appalling to hear what I heard yesterday and what I've been hearing in this space, because we have always had the communication lines open. I think there was 1 or 2 times Mr. Douglas did call me. I did answer. He said, I would like to come and see you, but it just never materialized. So the performance in the public space, I think that is just what it is, a performance. But the reality is we have been having conversations with all the stakeholders. There are even persons, there are about 15 persons we still owe. Some of them know me as Tobagonians, we know one another. They will ask when I get in my money, right? And I will do the same explanation, but there is no public performance because persons have been patient with us. And I think for the most part, persons understand what the Tobago House of Assembly faces in terms of financial challenges, in terms of liquidity and having readily available resources. So in response to your question, the expectation of the fisherfolk in terms of applying for
the resources available.
So as I did indicate before, TEMA, the head of TEMA, will provide technical assistance to apply to the IOPC. We will provide, and we'll be very open and transparent because the Chief Secretary has mandated that we be very transparent. I have done a press conference in January where I listed out every single service provider that was paid and how much is outstanding and who is outstanding. We will do the same thing for the financial assistance to the fisherfolk.
I'm guessing without revealing their names, that is
well,
for
because
privacy.
It's public funds, we may very well, because you see, I don't know the form on which I would not be doing that because that will come from the Division of Food Security, but the Chief Secretary wants it to be very transparent on what we have paid in terms of financial assistance. Yeah. At some point in time, Mr. Alan Stewart will provide an update on the process of applying to the IOPC for the compensation whenever that time is right. I don't know. I'm not part of that discussion with Mr. Stewart.
Right. So would there, Mr. Pickles, can you tell us if there would be any follow-up discussions with the fisherfolk to explain to them a little bit of what you have explained here this morning in terms of them having to hold strain, as we say here in Tobago?
Well, as I indicated, I'm always in contact with the president of ATFA as it relates to the outstanding monies owed to ATFA for the services that they provided to the Tobago House of Assembly in the context of the oil spill response and cleanup and so on. Right? That is something that I am committed to. Right, and I think that Mr. Douglas knows that is something that I am committed to, and so on. Right, I do understand the position of ATFA and the fishermen and so on with respect to the monies owed. It is something that I am sympathetic to. However, the Tobago House of Assembly at this time doesn't have all of the resources that are required to fulfill our payment obligations and so on, right? But notwithstanding that, the Tobago House of Assembly remains firmly committed to paying all of the service providers who would have assisted us with the oil spill response.
Excellent. And again, we want to make that distinction between the payment of service providers and the assistance, not compensation, because the IOPC is responsible for that compensation, and the assistance being meted out to the fisherfolk using that 2 million that would have been shifted around to assist at this time. Now, you have a lot of persons saying the true issue that they are having is that in the beginning, the Chief Secretary came out and said, we are going to compensate the fisherfolk. And then he came back and said, well, we had the conversation with the IOPC and they recommended that they pay the fisherfolk. And you have Mr. Curtis Douglas asking, why would you allow any international organization or anybody from central government to tell you what to do to help your Tobagonian brothers and sisters? Can you clarify that for us?
I'll just clarify in brief because I was not a part of the committee, but I can tell you something. An oil spill is an unforeseen circumstance. We do not have any expertise in oil spill. As a matter of fact, I remember in the early parts we had Petrobras out of Brazil, and we had some other international bodies coming to Tobago to give us guidance. It is only fair that we seek the guidance of the international experts for the oil spill related activities. The gentleman they're speaking about, he only gave guidance to the committee out of the Division of Food Security at the time when they were doing the assessment. Because really and truly, as I said, we do not have all the expertise here. We have very excellent and competent persons like Mr. Derek Leet, Mr. Alan Stewart, who has been in this thing from day one. We have ADFA on that committee. We have representatives from TUFA because we wanted all the stakeholders in the room. But to say an actual oil spill in terms of how you deal with the metric and the methodology, we had to bring the expert, and that is what the expert said. As a matter of fact, it is only a recommendation to guide us as to whether we should pay or not. And the government of Tobago still said, all right, because you have recommended this to us, we will still pay a $2 million out of what we have, of the little available resources.
And from that miscommunication, that has caused a bit of a rift in the relationship between the THA and the fisher folk. What is going to be done moving forward to try to mend that relationship and allow the fisher folk to understand that outside of the noise and the performances and the miscommunication, the THA is doing all that it can, even though the IOPC is still available for you to submit your claims to ensure that we can provide a temporary mechanism to assist you financially.
You know what is interesting, Chanel? There's a committee at the Division of Food Security that deals specifically with the stakeholders. And you know who sits on that committee? The same agents of these associations. So I don't understand who else must speak to the associations of fisher folk and persons in the fishing industry, but those two representatives sitting on the committee. And that's Mr. Curtis Douglas. I cannot remember what's the other guy from TUFA. But they sit on that committee whereby they were the ones that did the evaluation of the fishermen compensation. The THA continues, as I did indicate, Mr. Becker says he has conversations with them all the time. The Division of Food Security, that falls under their remit. They are the ones who have direct contact with the fisher folk. And Mr. Alan Stewart, who was mandated to give them that kind of support and technical guidance for. So we have always been in conversation with the stakeholders. We have never left them in the dark. We have never left them out. We have always had their interests at heart.
So I'm guessing you were quite surprised when you saw the press
I was not. I was disappointed, but not surprised, because I understand I understand one of the gentlemen who is pushing this kind of narrative, and that is what they do, and we just have to understand that that is what they do. What disappointed him is Mr. Douglas, because Mr. Douglas understood from day one. And I was also disappointed because we paid Mr. Douglas, although he was in this space saying that he was not paid. We paid him in 2 tranches. He got $1.1 million. Then he got $1.9 million. We still have outstanding sums, which are currently under the due diligence process of the accounting process. So I am not surprised, but I'm disappointed.
Understood. And is there anything you want to say to the fisher folk in Tobago as we close off this morning?
Definitely. First thing I want to say that we are committed to paying the financial assistance. I don't do the payment. We are now in process of shifting the resources to the Division of Food Security, and at the same time shifting the resources to pay the balance for service providers at the Office of the Chief Secretary. We have not left out the fisher folk. I must say with a level of assurance that they will be paid the $2 million. I cannot say who gets what amount. The Division of Food Security will determine that, and they will communicate as such.
Understood. Well, we want to thank you so much, Mr. Linford Beckles, as well as you, Councillor Roberts, for coming and taking the time to offer that insight, that comfort, and that clarity in the midst of everything that has happened and the press conference that was held by the All Tobago Fisher Folk Association with the fisher folk, feeling a bit disgruntled, feeling abandoned. But you are now saying that the very Curtis Douglas that was in the front, of that march sits on these committees.
Well, one of the committee, not the
sits on that committee at the Division of Food Security and has been given that constant communication on where the THA is as it relates to those payments.
Yes.
All right. Well, guys, you heard it here this morning. We want to thank you so much for being a part of the discussion, and we hope that even as ADFA has received their payment, that we will see that contributed to the growth and development of the fishing industry here on the island of Tobago. Guys, we want to thank you so much for your likes, your shares, your comments, for your engagement in this morning's discussion. And we want to say have a great day.
The energy